When using a calculator that allows only the typing of the numbers on one row, we have to be really careful to use the parentheses correctly in order to obtain the correct order of calculations. If we don't know where to put the parentheses correctly, then the calculator will give us incorrect answers. So let's learn how to use the parentheses. When using a calculator where calculations can only be entered on a single line, it's important to be careful with the use of parentheses. Let's take a closer look at how to use them properly. This is especially common in fractional forms, where if the numerator or the top part of the fraction contains a calculation, it needs to be enclosed in parentheses. Start by adding a parenthesis, then divide by 4. Without parentheses, you'll get the wrong result, because according to the order of calculations, this would be calculated first, and then 3 would be added at the end. If the denominator contains a calculation, it also needs to be enclosed in parentheses to ensure the correct calculation. Without parentheses, 20 would be divided by 2, and then 8 would be added to the result, which is not what we want here. Sometimes the exponent can also involve a calculation. As a rule of thumb, if there's a calculation, it should be enclosed in parentheses. If you have a calculation inside a square root, it should also be enclosed in parentheses. If you want to raise a negative number to a power, the negative number must be in parentheses. This ensures that the exponent applies to both the number and the negative sign. Without parentheses, the exponent would only apply to the number, and you'd get -9 as a result instead. So, it's generally a good practice to always enclose negative numbers in parentheses. Within those parentheses, begin entering the calculations, making sure to also enclose any negative numbers in parentheses. This is a good habit that ensures correct calculations. When dealing with expressions that include variables, replace the variables with numbers. Positive numbers can be entered as they are, but negative numbers should be enclosed in parentheses. For example, you would have minus, then -4. Now, regarding exponents again, a negative number should be placed in parentheses when inserted into the calculation. Next, if you have a fractional expression where you're substituting numbers, enclose negative numbers in parentheses. While positive numbers can be entered as they are. The final negative number also goes in parentheses. Then add the outermost parentheses. The numerator should be enclosed in parentheses, and the denominator should also be enclosed in parentheses. Start by entering the parentheses for the numerator and the denominator, then add the calculation inside them. If there's a calculation under a square root, begin by substituting the value b with the negative number in parentheses. Then substitute a, also in parentheses, and add the multiplication sign. Substitute c, add the multiplication sign again, and then the outermost parentheses. If you have a calculation under a square root, first add the outermost parentheses, then begin entering the actual calculation. So you have the outermost parentheses minus 4 times minus 3 times 15. As a general rule, always enclose negative numbers in parentheses and always enclose entire calculations in parentheses. This way, you're more likely to get the correct results and the correct order of calculations will be maintained. As a rule of thumb, negative numbers should we always put within parentheses. Also, parentheses should be used so that we will obtain the correct order of calculation.